Robben. Oh, he's away here, Robben. Oh, he's done brilliantly, goes down, penalty! A penalty in injury time for Netherlands to go through. Huntelaar scores! Last state, here we come! And once again, Mexico head out in the round of 16. This time they were within touching distance, but they've lost again.
Ask any Mexico fan what June 29, 2014 reminds them of, and you'll take them back to a dark place. It's a date that will live in infamy in Mexican football folklore and is one of the biggest what-ifs in El Tri's history. On that day, Mexico were just 3 minutes away from their elusive fifth game, La Quinta Partida. But Arjen Robben had other ideas. The Flying Dutchman tiptoed his way into the penalty area, looking for contact, and once veteran defender Rafa Marquez extended his foot, down went Robben. The referee gave the penalty. Mexico were eliminated in crucial circumstances with 90 minutes on the clock. Although the referee thought it was a penalty kick, Mexico fans had other ideas. They took to social media and posted, "No era penal." It was not a penalty.
No era penal! No era penal! Somos no era penal!
No era penal. Holanda, Mundial de Brasil. Sí, nos sigue doliendo al día de hoy.
Sí nos afectó mucho y todavía sigo diciendo que no era penal, pero...
This meme took the internet by storm, with people posting pictures of Arjen Robben diving onto the floor. The Dutchman had gathered a reputation over the past few seasons of being a bit of a theatrical player, and he owned up to it. In a clip of him watching the World Cup highlights, he mentions how it's part of the game.
Yeah, part of the game. Also the nice thing about football, you know, everybody can have his opinion and everybody can talk about football, not only about this situation, about all football games. People can talk about it for days, and no, I think that's just part of it, and I think that's also what we're used to.
But for Mexican national team coach Miguel El Piojo Herrera, the Flea, he had other ideas. He thinks that diving is not part of the game.
Tres veces se tiró de clavado y nunca dijo nada, pero sí vienen a joder acá a la banca de este lado. Fue un mundial donde todo estuvo en contra de México todo el tiempo.
But in his defense, Robben did admit to going down very easily in the first half. However, the penalty at the end of the game was not a dive in his book.
There was one foul in the first half where I went to the ground because I thought he would tackle me, but in the last moment I think he took his leg away and I went to the ground without any touch. So that was a stupid action from me. But what I said before, that didn't have any influence on the game, and had nothing to do with the penalty kicks.
But Herrera does bring up a valuable point. Robben did go down 3 times in the box, 2 of which weren't given, and the final one which decided the match and eliminated Mexico from the World Cup. Take it from a Stony Brook University student, Fernando Acevedo, who studies journalism and political science. He viewed the World Cup and was deeply hurt by being eliminated in such fashion.
Watching it the first time, I think me and my dad, we were both like just, just angry because we firmly believed it wasn't a penalty. There was various points in the game where Robben was trying to dribble and you kind of, you hold your breath a bit because you think, if anyone has time to tackle the box, there might be a penalty. And then, we know his personality, his character, he exaggerates a bit, to say the least. So I think it's debatable, but is there contact? Yes. But I think still, even if you watch it back, you get back to the same mindset of, if we win this, we get to the quarterfinals, and then we have Costa Rica. So you don't want it to be true.
Even for the neutral viewer, the decision was questionable at best and definitely caused controversy. Take it from Elliot. He's a blog writer who writes about Roma and has covered Serie A for over 10 years.
It is one of the most wrong decisions that I've seen in the World Cup, and this was before VAR review. If you look at it and you realize it's not a penalty, you move on. He was already making the motion before he was even clipped, and he was barely clipped. 9 times out of 10, if you redo that play over and over again, the attacker in this scenario is not falling over. They might, stumble a little bit, but there's no way that a man of his athletic ability is going to be overpowered by a very weak tackle.
Even 6 years later, it's still bittersweet for Mexico fans to watch highlights of that game. For nearly 40 minutes, it seemed like Mexico would finally be able to play their first quarterfinal in over 28 years, since they hosted it on home soil. But to no avail. But speaking of home soil, in 2026, they'll have the chance to share the stage with the United States and Canada and host the World Cup for a third time. Will that be the chance for Mexico to play El Quinto Partido? We'll have to wait and see. This is James Bowen reporting for the Stony Brook Press.